All right, Libras, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is going to be for January 4th through the 10th of 2016. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to this type of astrology, do check the description down below because the signs are different. All right, Libra, so this week a lot going on astrologically and a mixed energy as there usually is with a lot of things going on. But a lot of it's shifting in general. Mercury is going to be going retrograde here on Tuesday, followed by Jupiter on Wednesday and Thursday, and then a new moon here on Saturday in Sagittarius. So it all starts here on Tuesday with Mercury going station. Mercury's been squaring up to Mars. And so this has been specifically involving your third house of communications, correspondence, maybe learning. Maybe lately you've been focusing more on learning and sharing, the social energies, communicating, things like that. But now it all starts to go into a flux this early part of the week and then retrograde for the next 3 weeks. So a good time to have that reflective nature in those areas, to rehash anything that you are learning or sharing or communicating in that more mental day-to-day sort of sphere, especially the practical sphere. And also with even the philosophical stuff. You know, Mercury rules your 9th house and your 12th house, so the spiritual things as well. Where can you get more of that alone time, etc. So that's usually the case with Mercury retrogrades, reflection on philosophy, spirituality, that alone time. But all of this is in terms of how you can bring in perhaps more of that into the daily activities, into those things that maybe you're focused on at the moment with the communications and whatnot. So that's going to be the shift. And Mercury has been squaring up to Mars. So it's been important for this patience in regards to the communications last week, and that's going to be important this early part of the week as well. Also patience with anything that maybe you're wanting to do spiritually or to get that alone time and that rest and relaxation. It's a good time to put energy into that, but at the same time sometimes it's not so easy to relax when you got Mars in your 12th house. So it's about taking it slow, grounding it, and seeing where you can have maybe active spiritual time, you know, such as chi or chi exercises. Physical exercises can be very meditative for you, but with that extra attention, it keeps it nice and grounded, nice and real, and, safe as well. So with that early part of the week also, we do have Venus squaring up to Neptune. So in regards to you, because this is your ruler Venus, keeping everything grounded with any fantasies or imagination. Venus has been in your 2nd house, so maybe since last week, a lot of you have been more focused on your values, maybe in terms of the financial material things, which is an area of seriousness for you. You've got Saturn in your 2nd house, so it's important for you to really ground, take seriously your values, take seriously the material aspects, the finances, etc. But with Venus here, it usually tends to lighten that up a little bit. And it being your ruler, there's just more of a focus on that. So if there's any dreams or ideals involving that, maybe dreams and ideals involving your self-expression, your creativity, or romance this week can be very nice. Just make sure it's constructive, because sometimes with Neptune squaring Venus, we can run away with them. It can be sometimes an over extreme. Watch also any over or under indulgence of the material values of life and even the transformative stuff too. But that's Venus ruling your 8th, but generally with you in general. So that's the early part, and then as we go towards the middle part of the week, the Sun goes over Pluto and squares up to Uranus, which is really the segue into this new moon, because the new moon is going to be associated with these aspects. So being open to change for all of us this middle part of the week, specifically with you again, with how you communicate, with how you learn, with whatever it is you're learning about or focused on at the moment. And through that, especially leading into the new moon, it can really create more space for these new beginnings, because you are going to have new beginnings involving this 3rd house, the real practical house of life. All right, rational stuff, learning, writing, communicating. So with that, and especially with the square up to Uranus, here with Uranus in the 6th, it's important that there is this freedom needed, maybe with the routine, maybe with the work in a sense. And you can certainly actualize it, but in that slow and steady way. And this has been an ongoing theme over the past few years with Pluto squaring up to Uranus here. So now it activates that again, right? And if you're feeling a little bit of that impulsive energy, wanting to break free, maybe with the daily stuff, especially with Uranus in the 6th, it's about seeing how you can have that in that balanced sense. Because there is something here, Uranus in your 6th house is showing you the something about the importance of freedom with the daily things here and with self-improvement. So that's leading towards that new moon. Also leading towards the new moon which will be on Saturday, is here on Thursday, Friday, Jupiter goes retrograde. So all this reflective energy now shifting. And here with Jupiter, it's specifically involving maybe whatever's been expanding for you with groups or with your ideals lately over roughly about the past 6 or so months with Jupiter in that 11th. So if there's anything that you've been maybe learning more about involving networking or groups, organizations, or your ideals, now it all goes internal and you want to kind of reflect on those areas, right? Rehash them. Even your communications and that routine, because Jupiter just so happens to rule both your 3rd and your 6th. So it's seeming like there's some sort of shift happening where there's a new take, a new reflection needed with how you communicate, with your routine, and maybe your work as well. Okay, but usually we learn a lot during a Jupiter retrograde. A lot of wisdom comes through, but it is through that reflective nature of Jupiter, of a retrograde. Now, Venus, like I said, is going over Saturn. So by the end of the week, towards this new moon, there's that patience, that maturity that's very much needed, especially, again, with the values in your life and maybe even with the deeper aspects of life, right? How to have grounded transformation and change and connect to your values both on a material and non-material sense, which is Venus ruling your 8th and also all of this energy in Scorpio and Ophiuchus, right? So important for you to have values and material things that mean more to you than just the surface level of it, right? That's the Scorpio in your 2nd house. So a good time. You can actually actualize a lot. It could be a very productive week for a lot of you. And really doing that because it's a solid foundation with the things you value in life. Now that new moon, like I said, on Saturday, so new beginnings now with the communications, with your outlook, with the more practical aspects of life. Being open to change with Pluto is very important with this. And again, seeing where you can have more freedom and integrate that freedom with your perspective and also freedom of self-expression and creativity in terms of your communications with the sun there as well. All right. So Libra, have a great week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.